Gotta make sure my professional hoodie looks really good. How's it going, everybody? Hope everybody's having a good day. This is episode, I think it's 7 or 8 of the number 8, Daily Take number 8. Yeah, sounds about right. So today, Daily Take is going to be on holding offers. So something we've seen a lot of over the last couple of years is sellers deciding to hold off and set an offer date instead of dealing with offers as they come. The rationale behind this for sellers is that it gives the property time to be marketed. It it can be a good catalyst towards getting multiple offers. And that's generally the reason. Usually somebody might list, say, early in the week, and they'll say that we're going to do offers on the weekend after an open house or something of that nature. So I want to take a look at this both from the pro and the con perspective. First of all, the pros. So the first pro is additional marketing time. In a fast-paced market when things are just quick, the worry is, or can be, that my property did not get its exposure, thus all the buyers that may have wanted to have been interested in my property didn't get a chance to see it. Well, this is always a concern with any listing from a marketing perspective, especially in a quick market when you might get an offer the first day and go, well, was that as much as I could have gotten, or was that too premature and such. So the pro is that it can definitely work towards getting that additional additional offer situation, the multiple offer situation. In those situations, usually you get a higher dollar value when more people want your house. I suppose that's not always the case, but usually it is. On the con perspective, I have seen this personally myself from the buyer's perspective, where there is a house that they want to buy today, and today's Monday, but they're not looking at the offers till Friday or Saturday or something, and because they will not deal with an offer until the weekend, the buyer, who has a couple of choices, decides, well, I'm not willing to wait and lose out on house A on the weekend when I have house B that I also like, that is willing to accept offers right now. And so I have seen them opt to go to house B, buy that one, and thus not be a buyer for the house that was holding the offer. So I have seen buyers drop out, I would say, of that contention. The other thing that I would say is a potential con is that it isn't successful. And I have seen this as well, where somebody will hold offers for a week, and that time and date comes along and no offers. It's tough because it's a tough place to come back from, especially if you had initial interest right away that you weren't able to capitalize on in the immediate. So someone came through the house on Monday, liked it, loved it, and well, by the time Friday came around, maybe they were out of the market, maybe they bought something else, maybe something else came up that they liked more, and so they bought that. That is another one of the cons that I wanted to bring up, is that you can't predict the future, and because of that, you don't know what houses are going to be listed between now and then. And if a house comes up on Thursday when you're waiting until the weekend to do your offers, and a house, maybe 2, maybe 3 that are comparable to yours come up in the meantime, it could mean the difference between you selling your house at full asking or with multiples and over asking, and ultimately not selling it to any of the buyers that are interested, because those 2 other listings or 3 other listings could take the wind right out of the sails when it comes to the buyers looking towards your listing. Like anything else, it is supply and demand, and if all of a sudden supply increases and demand stays the same, then your product is going to be less valuable, and that can happen in this situation as well. So there is some cons to consider. I think that whenever you're looking at this, just like with most of my advice, is that it does depend on the house. How unique is it? How big is the buyer pool for it? Is it a lower market house in terms of price point, or is it higher? How big is the buyer pool? How many markets does it fit into? Is it first time buyer, second time buyer, plus investors? Is there a lot of people that might want it? Or is it something more unique and selective that isn't as big of a commodity and as readily available as other properties that might be on the market? The other thing that I would say that can potentially be a con, and it's escaping me right now. Oh, sorry. The other thing to consider, and it's not a potential con, is it comes down to the price point of how you're going to list it in your overall strategy, because that's where this all comes in, is where it's your overall strategy. Usually, when people do opt for this strategy of holding off offers, they have slightly underpriced the house. I would say not necessarily towards market, but towards where their expectations are, and thus are hoping that multiple offers get them to where they really want to be. And so I have seen situations where sellers are not actually happy with the asking price that they're at and are expecting much more. And so, again, it's neither here nor there if that's the strategy that you as a seller want to employ, but there is pros, there is cons, and which one is best is ultimately dependent upon your house and your situation and the market conditions that are at play in your market. So I have seen it work out really, really well, and I've seen it backfire a little bit. So just be cautious. One thing that I usually bring up to my sellers is that I like to see their asking price be a number that actually makes them happy. And if somebody comes along and says, "Yep, here's your asking price," I like it when that is the number that they really want. Just because I feel like it's very difficult to go backwards if you do underprice and don't succeed. And so it's very difficult to either amend your price to go up, and it's a lot easier to come down in price if need be. So a couple things to consider there. I will do kind of a 5 reasons to and a 5 reasons not to do video on this. I think it's something that we're going to see a lot of, and I will also do a post about being a buyer when the seller is holding offers on a house that you're interested in, because there's a couple key little tricks and I wouldn't say tricks, but just key things that you can do in order to kind of set yourself apart and be as prepared as possible to give yourself the best chance of winning. And that doesn't necessarily mean that that's not just, hey, I'll throw a ton of money at it. Some things like getting rid of conditions and such. So hopefully this was a little bit valuable. I know it's rambly, but my hope is that it is some value. I do think that the strategy exists for a reason. I do think it can be very successful, but there is some cons to consider. And again, it does come down to your particular house and how likely it is to sell within that first week and the pricing strategy that you're comfortable with. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope this brings you some value, and I hope this helps you if and when the time comes that you're in this position when it matters. And again, just thank you very much for watching or listening, whatever way you're consuming this, and I hope you're having a great day.